Yo, welcome back to the show. All right, Shelly does not disappoint, man. He was going on a hell of a rant today. I was halfway asleep and I could just hear some of the crazy stuff he was saying because I had turned my phone on to record. I was like, I gotta record this guy because he sounds nuts. He sounds extra nuts today. So let's go ahead and check out a few of the highlights from his rant today. Um, what are we at? December 28th.
Let me pull my map open here. I got a 7-hour drive, folks. I'll be driving for 7 hours, so I will run this live until we run out of juice. Cannot wait. So listen, tomorrow is going to be the day that I'm going to teach Don't Push the Button. I'm going to teach that tomorrow. I'm going to teach you. So just so you know, there's a site I'm creating that you can join. That you can join me in intermittent fasting starting in January of 2023. Actually, I'm going to start tomorrow, the next day, but I'm going to teach it. So just so you know, there's only going to be one video on this channel that teaches you guys intermittent fasting. And I'm going to teach it to you from top to bottom, just like I'm doing on the website. But the only difference between what I'm going to teach on YouTube and what I'm going to teach on the website is that you can follow the journey on the website, and then you have other people who are fasting with you. My buddy has a website program where you guys, it creates a community. It's like a miniature social media platform, I guess you would say. And it makes it so that you guys can communicate with one another as you're going through this really kind of, let me turn off my Bluetooth. Oh, Lord. But if you have the time, go get your shit done. Go get it done. Go get your license, registration, and proof of insurance. Get it on a laminated card. And so let me talk about this just for 5 minutes. And at 10 minutes, we'll start the lecture that I prepared to talk with you guys about. So I'm getting a lot of these people who are saying, oh, no, you have to give them an actual physical driver's license. Now, don't get me wrong. As you guys know, I'm willing to take the ride. I'm willing to go to jail based on my rights. So, there are some states that have actual statutes that you have to give them the actual driver's license. Then put your driver's license in it. Make your little laminated card and put your driver's license in it. And this becomes like part of your wallet you carry in your pocket. And then your actual driver's license is right there. That way, I think in Oklahoma, you have to give them the actual physical driver's license. So give it to them in this. And then what he may try to do, or she may try to do, because they're filthy pigs, is they may try to cut your piece of plastic open to get your license out. And that's fine. Just make it so that it can be resealed really easily. But what you don't want to do, the whole point of this isn't to be defiant. It isn't to be a rebel. It isn't to challenge the authority. What it's to do is to make sure you're not disoriented and you don't have to look through your insurance and your registration on your phone. So you don't have to text your wife or your husband or your best friend or your lover and say, hey, where's that insurance card at? You already got it. It's already on a laminated card. You can't F this up. It's not possible. You can't do it because it's already put together for you. So just take the time and get your ish put together. Don't wait. Don't wait until you're pulled over and you are completely disoriented because there's a pig at your window.
Okay, settle down, Chili. It's a good idea to have your stuff together, prepared, know where your license and registration are, and try to keep them, like in the glove or right there on the visor. Like, the little laminate thing's not a bad idea, and maybe cut a slit in it so that you can pull out the actual driver's license if you need it for things, because you will. Also, you probably don't want to keep your driver's license in there, because you probably use it for things if you're an adult. Just saying. So, yeah, I don't know. All right, back to the video.
No, and he's got a gun and he's demanding. You guys see how short they are? You guys saw it with my Tempe stop where the cop started being impatient with me. And I said to him, hey, I'm the citizen. You're doing your job. You pulled me over and bothered me. You can wait a second while I get my stuff together. It was in that moment right there where I was like, you know what? This doesn't work. It doesn't work. I've got to get my license. I got to get my registration. I got to find my proof of insurance. It doesn't work. And whether I like it or not, and whether you like it or not, when there's a couple pigs behind you and they're walking around your car, you're disoriented. And if you're not, hey man, balls of steel, brother. You got huevos, my friend. Gigantic huevos. For me personally, though, and you guys know I take on cops all the time, when I got a pig in my window and another pig at my other window, dude, I'm a little bit like disheveled for a second. So while you guys have the time right now, if you want to put your actual driver's license in a plastic slip, then go ahead and do it. I'm not saying that you shouldn't. I'm saying that everything should be in one simple place, because you don't even want to talk to this filthy pig. You want to take your ish and put it right outside the window and then pull your trifold out and say, I invoke my Fifth Amendment right. That's what you want to do. Don't do what I do what I say. Because I'm going to challenge these filthy pigs every time. Every single time. I'm going to challenge them. You know why? And people are like, Chili, you shouldn't call them filthy pigs. They're all different. And now let's start to get into it a little bit. Let's start to talk about it out loud. Let's start to get into the difficult conversation here. So here it is. So that brings us to the question of the whole point of this lecture and what I worked on last night to talk with you guys about. I was looking at the prison chart last night on the free poster that I sent out. At least I would say, 500, maybe an exaggeration, 300. Who got a free poster? Who got a free ebook from me? And question: how well do you think that since we've created law enforcers in our country, you guys have seen from the digital poster that I sent out to hundreds of people, that law enforcing on Americans, you get, there's several videos where the piggy will say, all I have to do is follow you for a little while. You're bound to do something and I can pull you over. Because they've created so many laws that you have thousands and thousands of laws and create new laws all the time. I can't drive down the road with my headphones on. And why is that? How come that is? Why can't I drive? Oh, because I could cause an accident. So you're giving up your essential liberty for a little bit of safety, and you deserve neither. Benjamin Franklin.
All right, so I had to go look up this quote from Benjamin Franklin. He has some good quotes, actually. But this one, those who would give up essential liberty to purchase a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety. You're not really giving that to people if you do smash into them while you're driving around with your headphones on for some reason, presumably listening to music or just not listening to the sounds of the road, the other driver's horns or anything. Stuff you're required to do when you drive a vehicle. This is a stupid argument. He wants to do so many dangerous things in a car just for the fuck of it. It's dangerous.
So they've made laws that I can't wear my headphones. Why? How many catastrophic accidents have there been? Now, if you drive a train or if you drive a bus or something like that, and you shouldn't be texting and driving, or maybe your ears should be uncovered when you're doing mass transit, you're working in commerce, you're working in commercial capacity, then I understand that. I don't understand how they create a law and we let them do it, because these are our representatives. We live in a Republican country, meaning that we have representatives that represent our interests. So they create a law that you can't wear your headphones when you drive down the road. Why is that? How come that is? Well, because if there's a law, then there's going to be a law enforcer. Thank you very much for the super chat. You guys remember, I can't see very well.
All right, so not only is Chili driving blind, but he also wants to fight for the right to wear those damn headphones while he drives and have them over his ears, just because he's American. This is what they mean when they go America. That's what this is. It's like, but why? It's just like, 'cause it's America. And then he drives off in a freaking monster truck and runs over a family of 7, and they all die, obviously, because America, Chili, America, Chili.
So let me ask you guys a question. Put a 1 in the chat if you think law enforcers in America have got to go. Put a 2 in the chat if you think law enforcing is a good thing. Because I was speaking to someone yesterday, and when this person gives me permission to let people know that we've had a conversation, I'll bring that up. But I was speaking to a guy yesterday who is a constitutional law scholar, and we had a very deep hour and 15-minute conversation about the foundation of America, about your rights. And, the original reason that we created any kind of policing system or security system, and we're going to go all the way back to the 1600s, when societies are first getting established. Remember, you got the Pennsylvania colony, and the Pennsylvania colony is going to be started by William Penn. And what's going to happen here is the church is going to have, there's someone in here. So the Pennsylvania is going to start, and the church is going to have a gigantic position in the colony of Pennsylvania. Someone could put the foundation of that colony. I don't want to guess, but I think it was 1686 or 1687. I can't remember the year. But the point is that when William Penn starts that colony, what happens is the church creates what is today, I mean, the church is using what are called night watchmen, because back then they were still making alcohol, but there was no real limits on the alcohol. So they would make alcohol, and it was called moonshine, and people would get absolutely schnockered beyond all, I mean, I'm talking wasted drunk, wasted. So what happens there? So then you start to get these people called night watchmen. And here's the funny part about the night watchmen, and I'm just talking about Pennsylvania right now. The night watchmen are people who have gotten in trouble for being losers. The night watchmen are people who have gotten in trouble for being absolute freaking losers. And so you have people, and this is going to be a recurring theme even today. Who are cops in America? The lowest common denominator, even lower than the lowest common denominator, because they cannot have too high of an IQ, or they can't be a cop. I know a guy in Arizona, we're Instagram buddies, we met at the gym one day working out, and he told me that he had taken the cop test 3 times. And I said, why would you take the cop test? And he said, I wanted to be a cop. And I said, why'd you want to be a cop? Blah, blah. Who knows why someone would want to sign up for that job in America after looking at any YouTube videos. And so what happens? He can't get in. And I said to him, hey, A, why can't you get in? And he said, I just passed the test. He said, I know I passed the test. I took the test. I aced it. And I said, you aced the police exam test, whatever it is? And he said, yeah, man. They had all these questions. I nailed every one of them. I studied for weeks. I nailed it. And I was like, so you're too smart, bro. You're too smart.
Oh, the judge has a question. So Chili, you're saying that you know some guy that you're a gym partner with or whatever, and this guy, he doesn't have a name apparently because nobody would believe the story, or they might, be able to follow up with this bullshit. Anyway, so this guy goes, he aced the test, and he's like flying colors. He's like, I know I passed. And they're like, hey, you didn't pass. And he's like, but I know I did. That's crazy. And they're like, no, you didn't. And then he goes and he's working out with you, and you tell him he's too smart. So most likely he did not learn whatever he failed to learn. I would love to see these perfect test results of his. I doubt they're going to be like, oh man, you're so good. We can't use you at any job. Completely. You're out of here. Go work out with Chili.
So we're taking the lowest IQ people, and they're becoming law enforcers. And so, like I was saying a second ago, we create thousands and thousands and thousands of laws, and then what happens? You get some moron who's willing to follow orders, and the next thing you know, you're going to jail. And that's the only solution in America. Yesterday I found somebody who had recommended 3 different books on the criminal injustice industry. And so I posted them in community. I want you guys to take a look at those books. I'm actually going to see if I can get them on audiobook, so when I drive across the country, I can hear them. But the whole concept of law enforcing Americans is the opposite of the foundation. And as you guys know, I am not an attorney or a court procedure scholar. I'm a constitutional law scholar, right? You guys have seen me go to court and lose. I own it. Who's lost in court? Me. Who's lost? Me. Okay? I am not a court scholar. I'm a constitutional law scholar. The foundation, the rule of law, where it comes from, how the Constitution was written, who wrote the Constitution, why they wrote the Constitution, the principles of the Constitution, the Enlightenment thinkers, going back to personhood. What is personhood? I go all the way back in time because I want to have an understanding of what exactly has gone wrong in our country. And it is law enforcers. That is the problem in our country. Law enforcers, coupled with the war on drugs and any dope being able to walk up to you and say, I'm suspicious of you. And then you got to get on your knees. What are the first thing a cop will tell you, especially if you're black, or especially if you're poor and you look like you're a tough guy? Get on your knees. Get on your knees. Those are the first 4 words of a Terry stop. Get on your knees. So wait a minute. I'm innocent until proven guilty. I have liberty and freedom. But if some douche with a badge on says he's suspicious of me, I got to get on my knees? Why is that? Why do I got to get on my knees? How come? Oh, because some douchebag's suspicious of you. Oh, I see. I see. Some douchebag is suspicious of me, so I have to get on my knees? That's how this is? Yes, that's how this is. That is not America. You know, I saw this guy, and just so you guys know, man, I am extraordinarily conservative and extraordinarily liberal. Could you imagine that? That I'm pro-choice and I'm pro-Second Amendment? What the fuck? Could you imagine that I want a strong border? And then I want to naturalize and create a path to citizenship for every single illegal immigrant in America. Every single one of them. You want to call them undocumented, you want to call them illegal immigrant. I want them to get a path to citizenship because I know so many undocumented, illegal immigrants, whatever you want to use your words, okay? In California, who I work with, I got a guy in California. Let's call him R. My friend R in California, he's a construction worker. And this guy, the construction work he does, I helped him pour an entire concrete slab over the pandemic in 2020 because I was helping out a buddy of mine. And I asked him, I said, hey, R, I said, you know, what do you do with your money? And he said, I send it back to Mexico. And I was like, well, why do you send it back to Mexico? He said, because I can't get a bank account here. I said, so the money you get, you can't just store it? He said, no, I can't put it in a bank. I said, so why do you? He said, if I could take my money and invest it in a house here, then I would build up equity and then I would have a way to stay here. You know, so we have to. So anyway, I don't want to get lost on conservative, liberal. But the point is that why can't, you know, these two parties, the Democratic and Republican Party, they have created monopolies on running for government. And I was talking to this guy yesterday, and he was one of those original guys that jumped on this other guy's nuts, and he called me a statist. And I was like, a statist? I'm for a decentralized system. And we had that talk and we got it out. But the point is, and this is what I'm trying to say, as long as we have monopolies in America with the Republicans and the Democrats, we're not going to have a path to freedom. You and me, the Republicans and Democrats both vote that the police get to keep the body cam footage, that it's not public, that you have to. Last night, we were going over how to FOIA for the body cam footage out of Youngstown for James Sheets' murder. Oh, there's a piggy. There's a little piggy on the side of the road, hiding for Christmas. Hiding.
Look at the amount of disgust and disdain in this little sensitive bitch's face. Look at him. Look at that bitch. Look at you, you little bitch. Look at you, you little bitch. Look at you.
Sitting there hiding on the side of the road to give somebody a ticket for driving in the middle of nowhere. Sitting there hiding on the side of the road. If it doesn't make you mad, then you're not paying attention. There's no place to turn around. I mean, I'm literally out in the middle of frickin' nowhere. I'm in the middle of nowhere. And you got pigs hiding on the side of the road He's not there for public safety. He's not there to help anybody. He's there to law enforce you and to fine you and to fee you and to give you a ticket. For what? For driving 5 or 10 miles over the speed limit? There's no place to turn around.
Oh, look at little Captain America over here. He's like, there's no place to turn around. A real American to drive right through that damn dirt, you punk. They don't need roads where we're heading, Chili. Wait, no, what is that from? Back to the Future? What is that? I don't know what that's from. What was I doing again? I forgot. I was insulting. Chili, you stupid. I'm catching your dumb.
It just incenses me, and it should incense you as well. It should make you mad, and you should do the exact same. You should be doing, there's no place to turn around. You should be doing the exact same thing I'm doing, where you approach these pigs who are hiding on the side of the road and you say, what are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you doing this? You're getting paid. I'm telling you, Charlie, I'm pissed off, buddy. If I see another one, I'm pulling over. I'm going to pull over as soon as I see a pig hiding on the side of the road. I'm going to pull over with you guys here, and I'm going to ask him, what are you doing, bud? What are you doing? You think you're a man? You think this is what a man's worth is? I'm going to hide on the side of the road and gotcha? That's what your worth is, dude? That's what you value in life? Being a gotcha guy? That's your whole mission in life, is to gotcha, to get you? And that's what I'm talking about. How if you guys do me a favor, put a 1 in the chat if you think we should get rid of the term law enforcers. Put a 1 in the chat if we should get rid of law enforcers, cop, police. It should be rights protectors only. It should be rights protectors only. It should not be law enforcers. We don't need it. We don't want it. Look at our prison industry. We have more, and people talk about this all the time. And they're like, oh, it's not nearly as bad as Iran. It's worse. It's not nearly as bad as China. It's worse. It's not nearly as bad as India. It is worse than India. We are the worst country in the world when it comes to locking people up. We got the best founding documents in the world. Well, I was being educated yesterday by this other constitutional law scholar, and he told me and he taught me that the word unalienable rights is not in the Constitution. We looked online. I sat there and looked, and I originally, I read the Constitution at 18 or 19 years old, and it's like, it's not in there. We don't have unalienable rights. Unalienable rights is what John Locke was talking about in natural law. Natural law meaning that everybody has the right to life, liberty, and property. But instead, where we are today is law enforcers. And so let's take it a step further. You guys saw the jackboot thug pig on the side of the road. And let me comment on that. Why do you call these guys pigs? Why do you call cops pigs? You're turning off a certain sect of the population when you call these guys pigs. Hey, they have YouTube on their phone. They have YouTube on their computer. How in the world can you sign up to do that? When you see what that organization, what their policies and procedures are, the very first policy is you got to go in torture cuffs. The very first policy is that I can walk up to someone and say, I'm suspicious of you. Get on your knees. Wow. I'm talking, wow. That is, so what happens from that? What happens from the law enforcers? What happens from getting on your knees? Next step is you go to a dungeon. Let's just say that there are people who deserve to go to a dungeon. Let's just say it. Let's say that half of all people arrested, which it's not that high, even close, maybe 10% of people being arrested actually need to be physically restrained. Maybe 1 out of 10 at the most. I would say maybe 0.5 out of 10 people have to be physically restrained. Very few people actually have to be restrained with the way that we take complete dominion over another person's faculties, where they can't even roll their finger across the booking page because you have to have control of their digits. Like, it goes down to where the pigs have to have control of your digits. So the reason I call them pigs is because no good person would sign up to be a pig today. No good person would go, oh, you know what? I want to sign up to be a pig. Nobody would do that. Nobody would do that. It's just not true. It is just not true. If you're a good person, how in the world would you sign up to a Death Star? How? I'm a good person because I'm going to go and join Darth Vader. I'm a good person, but let me put these torture cuffs on you. Hey, they're not supposed to be comfortable. Let me put these torture cuffs on you for your safety and mine. And the bullshit I'm spewing is pure and absolute bullshit. It's bullshit. It's a lie. You're not putting torture cuffs on me for my safety. You're putting torture cuffs on me because you're scared. You're scared of me. When the truth is the camera is the game changer. Let me tell you guys something. You guys see how powerful I am with these pigs. You guys see I walk up to them and I dismantle them because I know my rights like the back of my hand. Before this camera phone existed, before this right here, and I could go live, I was arrested 20, 30 times. And people, assholes, will come in my chat and be like, oh, you shouldn't have broken the law. I didn't break the law. I was arrested because they could, and there was no proof that it was unjust, and then the charges would later be dropped. You guys can find my mugshot and my picture in 5 or 6 different states. Yet there's no charges. There's no sticking. There's no nothing. There's no nothing. I mean, there's nothing. I got no legitimate criminal record because I've never really done anything criminal. I did shoplift when I was 18. That is true. I did. Me and a couple other guys. We thought we were going to pull a scam and steal all this stuff. We got caught.
Oh, this is what I love. When he's just talking and he gets on a roll, and then he just starts telling us stuff we did not know, because it's brand new stuff. That's what most people do when they're in a conversation with people. They're like, oh, have I told you about this or that before? It's like, it's normal instinct. But not very great on live panels, I guess. But yeah, he just admits to a little crime. He's like, we stole some shit, whatever. And then, was that before or after he stalked that chick and got the restraining order from his family member in Alaska? And then a little bit later, he got caught doing drugs. And, now currently, he has an active warrant out of Ohio, right, as far as I know. So he is actively a wanted criminal in one state, at least. It's funny, it's like that one game, Skyrim. I think it's Skyrim, where you go from city to city, but if you do something in one city, word doesn't always get around if you're not that bad of a criminal, I guess, or whatever. But I think if you go back to that city, they're like, nope, and they arrest you.
We did. I guess that's wrong. That is wrong. I did do something wrong at 18 years old, and I faced it and I dealt with it. And let me just tell you something. Never did that again. Never did that again. I didn't want to go through that again. It was so embarrassing being arrested. It was so embarrassing when you done wrong. But the point is, even then, I wasn't taken to a dungeon back then. They put me in the torture cuffs, gave me a ticket. I went to court. I told the judge, I did it. I'm sorry. The judge said, pay restitution, and it's over. I paid my restitution. It's over. But other than that, I don't have any kind of criminal record, and I've been arrested 20, 30, 40 times. I can't count how many times I was arrested. This camera phone makes me the powerful man that I am. This is my power, not my strength. This is my power. This is your power. Okay, well, if I have this power, then you have this power. And if you have this power, then the pigs have the same power of the camera. That's what I'm talking about. Oh my goodness, do I got a piggy? No. I thought I had a piggy pulled over up here. I didn't. If I see a piggy on the side of the road, I will be pulling over and we're going to have a conversation with that pig. So if the pigs have the same power of the camera, if they have the same power of the camera that I have, which, put a 1 in the chat. If the pigs have the same power of the camera that I do, put a 1 in the chat. If pigs have the same power using a camera that you and I do, put a 1 in the chat. If they do the pigs have the same amount of power using the camera? I think they do. I think pigs can use the camera. So, and what I mean by that, and I'll try to be a little more gentle. I think that rights protectors, because I don't want to use the term law enforcers anymore, even though they call themselves law enforcers. It just chaps me, man. It just chaps me. Nobody wants that. So that means that when the cops come up to you and you've done something wrong, like shoplifting at 18 years old, or you've done something where you and another person got in a fist fight, or you've done something where you did something that was actually created a victim, right? Because if you steal something or you punch another person, then you have created a victim. Because you're not going to scare me off. I don't feel fear. So you're not going to scare me. But I was called a racist on TikTok because I became too powerful for those. And this is where you get those ridiculous liberals. And so because I was too powerful for them, they wanted to brand me a racist. So a year ago, after I was getting like maybe 10 death threats a day. I mean, literally like 10 every day. Someone said they were going to kill me every day. The point of the video was to let these people who are just awful, let them know, good luck. Step to me personally and you're going to have problems. Step to me and I fear for my life, I'll grab. I've already told you guys this time and time again. If this country goes into a revolutionary war, which we're on the tip of it any minute, we're sitting on a powder keg. One more George Floyd event, and every cop shop in the country could have problems. They could have physical structure problems. And we saw that. How many cop shops got burned down over the George Floyd riots? We have one more powder keg. If it happens to a white, popular conservative, and they decide to start taking down the structures of these filthy pigs in America, it could go bad. And let me just tell you, if that happens, I'm leaving. I'm here to make this country get back to a constitutional standard. I'm not here to start a war. I don't want to be involved in a war. I don't want to be involved in killing people. I don't want to be involved in violence. However, if someone comes to me with violence, they're going to get violence.
Okay, I think he actually did stream for like 6 hours. I gotta check on that. I thought I recorded it because, like I said, I was sleeping during this live stream. It was a few hours ago. It was on the 27th. Today's now 2 a.m. on the 28th. So this will probably be uploaded by tomorrow or hopefully by the 28th, maybe the 29th. Members actually get early access because I have to wait for the video to review. So if you do join the cult members, you will get immediate access to videos that are still waiting for reviews, which they could be waiting for a day or 2 days or, sometimes a long time. Right now they're taking about a day though. So there's about a day before you see them as opposed to the cult that sees them. Alrighty, enjoy. Think about joining that cult. Peace.